Good evening, and welcome back to Train Sim World 2. This video is the result of an idea I had the other day. Just some awkward commentary over railfanning clips from Ruhr-Sieg Nord. Apologies in advance if I mispronounce the German place names. RSN is the second oldest German route in TSW. It was released in August 2018, and runs for about 61 kilometers from Hagen to Finnentrop. It is also a partial remake of the old Hagen to Siegen route in TS Classic. For the longest time it didn't have working departure screens, but it appears that DTG have finally added them in a recent update. Certainly took them long enough. We begin in the yard at Verdol, 39 kilometers south of Hagen, where I found a 6-engine convoy waiting to leave. The Deutsche Bahn BR112 at the front of this consist is sold separately in the Hamburg to Lübeck route, while the base RSN pack only comes with the BR143 and BR185.2. RSN features both passenger and freight trains, as is often the case with German TSW routes because Dovetail Games can never seem to think of any creative ideas for what kind of services to have represented in the game. If you look back at their previous German routes, you'll see that the vast majority of them, or at least a sizable amount, are all a fairly similar length of about 60 to 70 kilometers, with the choice between either passenger or freight services. There's almost never any variation in terms of the type of route they make. Why aren't I surprised? The passenger services on the RSN route are run with locomotive-hauled coaches in a push-pull configuration, as is quite often the case with these German routes. The locomotives, in this case, are always at the northern end of the train. In comparison with other German routes, RSN is not a fast one. Due to its winding nature, the maximum speed limit is only 120 km per hour. This realistic road traffic is something Ruhr-Sieg Nord has lacked for an annoyingly long time, and before this was added, it made the route look very empty and lifeless. Much like the working departure screens, I think this traffic must have also been part of that recent update. And now we are at Finnentrop, the southern limit of this in-game route. Why DTG cut the route here instead of, oh, I don't know, going all the way to Siegen, is beyond me. The town of Finnentrop is located in the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia, with a population of 16,854 people as of December 2020. Their station is a measly 61 kilometers by rail from Hagen, and served primarily by regional trains, as well as the occasional intercity run between Frankfurt am Main and Dortmund. One of those regional services is RE16, which runs from Siegen to Essen via Hagen. Interestingly, the northern stub of RE16's route, between Bochum and Essen, is also represented in TSW as part of the Hauptstrecke Rhine-Ruhr pack. Incidentally, Hauptstrecke Rhine-Ruhr is yet another one of those TSW routes that is far too short and in dire need of extensions. DTG's habit of always making these TSW routes really short, with loads of missed opportunities and almost no branch lines, is a trend that really pisses me off. In TSW2 you can do lots of things that are very dangerous and, frankly, stupid in real life, such as randomly wandering about the track and, in this case, standing on the buffers to watch a train pass by. This locomotive is the Deutsche Bahn BR185/2, one of many variants of the Bombardier Trax family, although in this instance is written as TRAXX. DB Cargo has at least 399 of these things, and they were built between 2001 and 2004. They are very strong locomotives, with a power output of 7,500 horsepower. They have a bow wheel arrangement and a top speed of 140 km an hour. This particular Trax variant runs on the 15 kV 16 2/3 Hz AC electrification system, which is very common throughout Germany. One disadvantage of the BR185's high power output is that she can accelerate uncomfortably quickly, almost as fast as one of the S-Bahn EMUs like this BR423. Although in the case of the 185, especially when she's hauling heavy freight trains, the high acceleration generally isn't a problem. Upon realising I'd have to wait ages for the next train at Finnentrop, I magically teleported back up the line to Verdol. Unfortunately, the weather turned even more sour before I got there. You'd think these passengers would all have umbrellas in weather like this. In any case, they shouldn't be sinking into the stairs either, but hey, that's Dovetail's quality control for you. To me, Verdol is notable for its location in between two tunnels. It reminds me of Tunbridge Wells in England, though Verdol isn't anywhere near as cramped. Here comes another regional service bound for Hagen, albeit with another BR112 in place of the usual BR143. Both aforementioned locomotives are part of the same series, with the BR112 being a later variant introduced in the early 1990s. Aside from the refined light clusters and a higher top speed, this engine is largely identical to the older BR143. Besides the usual electric locomotives, you can also run with the BR204 and BR363 diesels on this route. I explain more about these things in my video on German diesels in TSW. Our last station visit will be at Hohenlimburg, with this section of the video featuring additional services south of the station. Needless to say, I've got no idea why this BR363 was lurching about so much. Although, from what I can tell, it's basically a representation of the Eddie Money song Shakin'. Took me a while, but I finally made it to Hohenlimburg station. This one is located in the borough of Hagen-Hohenlimburg, and is technically still in the city of Hagen. The station first opened in 1859, and is currently served by RE16 and RB91 services. Most of the trains present in CSW will call it a station, but others don't. And that's the end of our look at Ruhr-Sieg Nord. Thank you very much for watching, although I dare say any Dovetail staffers watching will probably be quite pissed at me from all those earlier complaints. For non-Dovetail staffers, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed recording and editing it. I'll leave you with some shots of this custom livery I made for Pride Month, using the ES64U2 Taurus from the Hamburg to Lübeck route.